You're listening to The Bible Guys, a podcast where a couple of friends talk about the Bible in fun and practical ways.
Hey everybody, welcome to The Bible Guys.
Woohoo!
We are here and we are very excited.
We are here and not somewhere else.
That's completely true.
Yes.
You remember the DJ Rick Dees?
Nope.
You didn't listen to the radio as a kid?
Apparently not.
Okay. Well, anyway, Rick Dees, he had a saying. He said, "Wherever you go, there you are."
Oh, okay.
That's what you just sort of said.
Okay.
Right.
I just said that.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, something like
We're
that.
here.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's so funny.
Contemplating the mysteries of the universe right now.
So, if you had no TV growing up, and
I only listen to Christian music, though.
oh, you didn't listen to just the average radio or whatever?
No. Uh-uh.
You just
At all.
At all.
At all.
So if we were to like turn on a station like I Love the 80s, you'd be like, not really.
Yeah, well, they would be familiar because of like being in the mall or something, or at work, people would be listening to music.
Wow.
But, yeah.
It wasn't forbidden. It was just a choice, or was it forbidden?
It was both.
It was both.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I never listened to Christian music until I obviously became a Christian.
Until your wife started listening to it in the car when you get in, and
No.
before you can scramble as fast as you can and change the channel on the
Although
radio.
she introduced me to it.
Yeah.
She did.
Yeah.
She
loves Jesus.
She was my Christian friend who liked Christian music.
Mm-hmm.
But I became a Christian my sophomore year of high school. And I was exposed to Amy Grant, Michael W. Smith,
Yeah.
Sandy Patty,
Wow.
all those guys. Anyway, here we go. We're going to dive into a segment called One Must Go.
One must go.
This Thanksgiving, coming up in a few days, which one stays and which one goes away forever? So you and I just have to choose. And by the way, we've decided this is for the world.
Okay, and that's this or that, essentially. Yeah.
So,
this one or that one.
But it goes away for the world.
For the world, forever.
Okay, so
Yes.
we're choosing this on behalf of humanity, not for ourselves, right?
I guess.
Okay, All right. So here we go.
Yes.
Which goes away forever, Jeff? Turkey or ham?
Oh, that's a tough one.
Mm-hmm.
I love both. This is the hardest one on this list.
Yeah, well, all the Jews would say
Yeah.
ham.
Yeah. But I love ham. I think I'm going to say ham. Ham will go away.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it doesn't say all the rest of the pork products. So you'd still get the benefit of turkey.
What?
It doesn't say all the other pork products. It just says ham itself.
Which
just
means
ham.
bacon.
No, bacon doesn't come from the ham. Ham is a cut of meat.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow! You would know this. You're a meat guy,
That's right.
right? You're a
So you'd
you're
still
a
be able
grill.
to have. You still be able to have.
You're a grill
ribs.
protein.
You'd be able to have ribs and bacon and pulled pork sandwiches, all that stuff. You just couldn't have the ham.
Okay, fine. You've convinced me. I was 100% going to say turkey, but I think I agree now.
You get both. Okay,
All right,
good. See,
Wow.
hang out with wise friends and you become wise.
That's right. And speaking of which,
Yeah,
that's our
yesterday.
segue.
That was yesterday's.
That's our segue.
Yep.
Or could have been yesterday. All right, number 2, cornbread or stuffing? Which one goes?
Cornbread.
Yeah, cornbread.
Yeah, cornbread.
Yeah, stuffing is too good.
Too good.
Number 1.
Too good.
But also way more popular than cornbread.
I found a recipe last night at 11 something at night. I was looking at recipes and I found a recipe for a new kind of stuffing I want to make that looks incredible. So, yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just wait watching the Lions, and then she says, "It's time to eat," and then I'm like, "Oh, this is really good stuffing, baby."
That's it. Yeah.
That's it.
Okay.
All right.
Sweet potato mash or mashed potatoes?
Oh, there's no competition here.
Mm-hmm.
I really like sweet potato mash, but come on,
Yeah.
you can't get rid of mashed potatoes.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yep.
So are
Out
we
with the sweet potato mash.
are we 3 for 3?
3
in
for 3.
agreement?
3 for 3.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that usually doesn't happen. Right? We're usually mostly in agreement.
Right. Green bean casserole or cranberry sauce? Now, is this green bean casserole like the green beans that are in the cream and mushroom soup with the fried onions on top?
Well,
Is that what this is?
I would assume so, because that's the typical Thanksgiving green bean casserole.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So green bean casserole or cranberry sauce?
Okay, so green bean casserole doesn't mean that you'll do with green beans on the side.
No, just as that casserole. That's why I was asking.
That casserole, right.
Yeah.
All right, so it has to be the green bean casserole.
Really?
Well, I mean, think about it.
You love cranberry sauce that much?
Cranberry sauce, well, I love jellied cranberry sauce, which is unpopular, right? Like the one in the jelly. Like, I don't think you understand how much I love it.
You shake it out and it just stands it like a can on top of the plate.
So my wife, who's listening right now, she would chime in right now and say, Jeff, you have no idea how much my husband.
You love it.
I think if the cranberry sauce is forgotten, the entire Thanksgiving meal
it's not
goes from
Thanksgiving.
a 10 to a 2.
Well, it's not a Thanksgiving.
Right.
Okay. Oof.
That's how much I love.
Now, do you eat it the rest of the year?
No, just with that meal.
With turkey, green bean casserole, mashed potatoes.
Yeah. And by the way, I've gone to like Cracker Barrel.
Stuffing.
I've gone to Cracker Barrel and I've ordered their Thanksgiving feast or whatever. And I've also gone to Bob Evans because they have a really good Thanksgiving.
Two fine establishments.
Yes. And when I order cranberry sauce, it's always obviously not the jellied one because who would ever serve that? Right. Which I don't like I don't like this real stuff that much.
Okay. Pumpkin pie or...
Wait. You never answered.
Oh, I would do away with the cranberry sauce.
So we disagree on that?
Yeah, I think so.
Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I like cranberry sauce. I do. I made a burger, a Thanksgiving feast burger.
Oh, with cranberry sauce?
With turkey. So it was ground turkey with all the flavors that you put on a turkey.
Wow.
Rosemary, thyme, sage. It's really, really good. And then melted a provolone on that, and then had a little bit of stuffing and cranberry sauce on it. Believe it or not, it sounds odd. It was really on a brioche bun. It was so good.
Wow.
So good, yeah. Anyways, I like cranberry sauce, but...
You're making me hungry.
But I like green bean casserole better. Okay, so now...
Now, the big one.
Pumpkin pie or apple pie. Which one has to go forever?
Ooh. Well, I tell you, I already have an answer. Apple pie is America itself.
Yeah, mom.
Right, it's mom.
Right. Yep.
It's everything.
That's
it's
right.
baseball.
That's right.
It's everything.
So the patriotic answer is...
Yes, you have to get rid of pumpkin pie.
Yeah.
Yeah, so although I love pumpkin pie, but do I order it as much as apple pie? Not even close. Yeah.
So on this one,
yep.
I don't care because I don't like pie.
What?
I know.
What?
I know.
What do you mean you don't like pie?
Yeah. So of the two, I would prefer a good apple pie over pumpkin pie. But I'm not normally a pie person.
I almost can't believe what I'm hearing.
I've never chosen a piece of pie.
I'm almost offended.
Except I love pecan pie.
Well, that's pie,
Jeff. I know. But of those two, and name all the other pies, I also like a French silk. Right. But I don't like, for the most part, I don't ever order a pie. I've never went, you know what I need? I want a pie. There's a famous pie company here in our area called Ackett's, right? And my wife is always like, let's pull in to get a pie. And I'm like, okay.
Wow.
Okay. I love cake. I love brownies. I love chocolate chip cookies.
So when it comes to this, you and I are radically opposite.
Yeah.
I don't like cake.
Pie?
I don't like cake.
I know.
But I love pie.
I know. That's why we're friends.
That's right.
It's more for me.
Right.
If I have pie, somebody brought me pie with a little scoop of ice cream or something.
Yeah.
And I eat it. I mean, I'm not against it. Look at me. I don't say no to a lot of things.
Right.
But, yeah.
All right. Time to move on. We're at 8 minutes.
Okay.
Wow. Hey.
Super exciting. Man.
Speaking of being... oh, geez.
You have an hard one on this one?
I didn't look ahead.
Well, one of my favorite things about the Great Big Giant Thanksgiving dinner is when you're done, you just go out and pass out in front of the TV.
Right.
Being lazy.
Yeah.
And one of the verses here talks about being a lazy bones.
That was a terrible transition. But I didn't have anything.
Which is the goal. That's the goal.
I didn't have anything.
Yeah.
We didn't work on that. But listen, we apologize to our viewers, and tomorrow we will be prepared with a better transition.
Will we? Will we, though? Okay. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, so we are in Proverbs chapter 6. All we're doing is we're trying to inform ourselves of the practical wisdom of King Solomon.
Yeah.
And a lot of times for me as a kid, I felt like reading Solomon was very similar to reading like the clever thoughts of Mark Twain or the clever thoughts of Benjamin Franklin when he was writing Poor Richard's Almanac or something like that. A penny saved is a penny earned kind of a thing, right? It feels that way where Solomon just drops these nuggets of really smart things that if you apply them. The difference is Solomon has like the keys to real life.
Right.
And, Mark Twain and Ben Franklin seem to be just clever. And there's a big difference between being wise and being clever.
Right.
So, anyways, Proverbs chapter 6, verse 1 says, "My child, if you put up security for a friend's debt or agreed to guarantee the debt of a stranger, if you've trapped yourself by agreement and are caught by what you said, follow my advice and save yourself. For you have placed yourself at your friend's mercy. Now, swallow your pride. Go and beg to have your name erased. Don't put it off. Do it now. Don't rest until you do. Save yourself like a gazelle escaping from a hunter, like a bird fleeing from a net." Then he says, "Take a lesson from the ants, you lazy bones. Learn from their ways and become wise. Though they have no prince or governor or ruler to make them work, they labor hard all summer, gathering food for the winter. But you, lazy bones, how long will you sleep? When will you wake up? A little extra sleep, a little more slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest. Then poverty will pounce on you like a bandit. Scarcity will attack you like an armed robber. What are worthless and wicked people like? They're constant liars, signaling their deceit with the wink of an eye, a nudge of the foot, or the wiggle of fingers. Their perverted hearts plot evil, and they constantly stir up trouble. But they will be destroyed suddenly, broken in an instant beyond all hope of healing. There are 6 things the Lord hates. No, 7 things he detests. Haughty eyes, a lying tongue, hands that kill the innocent, a heart that plots evil, feet that race to do wrong, a false witness who pours out lies, and a person who sows discord in a family. My son, obey your father's commands and don't neglect your mother's instructions. Keep their words always in your heart. Tie them around your neck. When you walk, their counsel will lead you. When you sleep, they will protect you. When you wake up, they will advise you. For their command is a lamp, and their instruction a light. Their corrective discipline is the way to life. It will keep you from the immoral woman, from the smooth tongue of a promiscuous woman. Don't lust for her beauty. Don't let her coy glances seduce you. For a prostitute will bring you to poverty, but sleeping with another man's wife will cost you your life. Can a man scoop a flame into his lap and not have his clothes catch on fire? Can he walk on hot coals and not blister his feet? So it is with the man who sleeps with another man's wife. He who embraces her will not go unpunished. Excuses might be found for a thief who steals because he's starving, but if he's caught, he must pay back 7 times what he stole, even if he has to sell everything in his house. But the man who commits adultery is an utter fool, for he destroys himself. He will be wounded and disgraced. His shame will never be erased. For the woman's jealous husband will be furious, and he will show no mercy when he takes revenge. He will accept no compensation nor be satisfied with a payoff of any size.
Oof. So, being in ministry for so long, and, I always make fun and say we're old, right? Even though we're not super old, right?
You're old.
Yeah, you're old.
You're old.
Hey, I'm only 6 weeks older than you.
Way older.
But having been in ministry so long, you can see this play out in so many lives.
Oh, yeah.
I can't even tell you the number of people who I've had conversations with. In fact, I don't think I even know of a story where adultery is involved where it doesn't end badly.
Oh, right.
Right? It just ends. It ends. It's always so drama-filled, and yes, in some cases, could be absolutely dangerous. But, I love how Solomon says, can a man scoop a flame into his lap and not have his clothes catch on fire? Can he walk on hot coals and not blister his feet? Mm-hmm. And he's like, so it is. And of course, the answer is no. And what
he's literally saying, you're playing with fire.
Yes.
That's what he's saying.
He's saying, do you not understand that it's going to end badly? And then he's making the visual aid comparison of saying it's just as if you can't do this. Guess what? You can't commit adultery with another man's wife. And guess what? He's not going to forgive, and you're going to die, basically.
Right.
And even compares it to stealing. He's like, even a thief can get away with it if he's starving, even though he's going to have a huge consequence. He's going to pay back 7 times if he gets caught. But guess what's going to happen if you get caught? Right. It's going to end badly. Right. So it feels like there's like 10 verses here that really warn us against that. Just the idea of what God hates.
Yeah.
And here's my second thought. My second thought is, I always found it super weird that every time I come across this verse where he says, there are 6 things the Lord hates. Nope, just kidding. 7.
Yeah.
7 things he detests. And then he lists 7 things, obviously, that are bad. But then I think, oh, really? God doesn't hate 8 things? God doesn't hate 9 things? So I'm thinking, what's so special about these 7 things? Do you know?
Well, all of these things are called an abomination in the Bible. So an abomination means they make God want to vomit. So there aren't very many. There's a couple more that are mentioned in the Bible. So that's a poetic mechanism in Hebrew where he starts off saying there's 7, right? So it's a poetic, like, get your attention kind of thing.
Yeah. You know what that reminds me of? Mel Brooks in The Meaning of Life. At the very beginning of the movie, he pretends to be Charlton Heston in that famous movie. And he walks down the mountain, and he looks just like Charlton Heston. He's dressed up. Mel Brooks, of course, is just hilarious. Right. He's holding 3 stone tablets. And he goes, God brings you these 15. And then one falls and drops. And he goes, ooh. 10 commandments for all the people to obey. Right. And it's hilarious. It's like 6. No, 7.
7, yeah. So it's a poetic mechanism that he's using there for that. So, but the things he talks about that God hates, haughty eyes, that's just pride, right? That's what he's talking about there. A prideful look is usually what it's translated. A lying tongue, hands that kill the innocent, which in our society, that's a pretty significant thing. A heart that plots evil, feet that race to do wrong, a false witness who pours out lies, and a person who sows discord in a family. All of those things tear apart society, right? All of those, each of those things, and so that's what he's going after there.
Yeah. I find it interesting that he says a heart that plots evil, feet that race to do wrong. Those things are connected to, the character, intention, right? They're connected to the inside of a person. A false witness that pours out lies. I mean, it speaks into like a person who's just not a good person. Yeah.
Well, we can have these things. Each of these. This idea. There's a lying tongue in verse 17, and then in verse 19, a false witness who pours out lies. And on the surface, you think, well, those are the same. He's just repeating the same thing. But a lying tongue is somebody who's a liar, right? You just lie. You make up stories that aren't true. You give answers that aren't legit. Whereas a false witness who pours out lies is that's more of an affirmation of God's view of the value of the rule of law, right? So in court, somebody who comes in and tells a lie under oath undermines the whole process of justice in a society. Right. So the second one is different. It's not just being a liar. It's upending the process of justice, the rule of law in society. And the only way that the rule of law works is the fact that we choose to believe it does and we follow it. So even when we're in a situation where it doesn't behoove us, and it actually might work against us, we still have to, if we're going to be civilized people, we still have to choose to, under oath, give the truth, right? And if not, all of the rest of society breaks down. It leads to corruption. If you're willing to shoot a move in court, if you're willing to take advantage of your ability to hide the truth in a public setting like that tears down the fabric of society differently than just being a liar. Right. And so that's why those two, they seem the same, but they're not. And then it's the same thing. People who, what was it? Heart that plots evil versus the feet that race to do evil. Right. Right. There's some who just love it. So I was always really tempted by friends who go, Jeff, I dare you, especially if they double dog dare me.
Sure.
Right. I didn't usually think of dumb things to do.
Right.
But if my friends dared me to do dumb things, I did them. Right. Yeah. So I was the second one, not the first one.
Well,
right?
I'll tell you, I was both.
Yeah.
We would have a game among ourselves. We would think of crazy things to do and just dare each other. Right. Mm-hmm. When you have sort of a group of friends like that, it's a really bad thing.
Yeah.
And then of course, if you don't do it, there's you can't fall out of good standing of being a wild and crazy guy.
How many movies have you seen where there's some
a lot
mastermind that is so good at figuring out how to break into the bank or how to steal a bunch of Bitcoin or how to take advantage, whatever. And you look at that character going, if they just applied their mind to, I don't know, solving the problem of cancer. They would change the world.
Right.
But instead, they use all of their intelligence to try to find a way to shoot a move, take advantage, steal something, whatever.
Yeah, you just described the plot of Ant-Man.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. I'm sure Ant-Man was what Solomon had in mind here. But let me jump to this one, because each of these now, in this one, he's writing in little segments. He's writing like 5-verse segments. The very first one, my child, if you put up security for a friend's debt or agreed to guarantee the debt of a stranger, if you trapped yourself by your agreement or caught by your words, do whatever it takes. Follow my advice. Get out of that. What he's saying is don't co-sign. Mm-hmm. That's what he's saying, right? And he's not saying don't help a friend out, don't help a family member out. He's saying don't go on the hook for somebody else's debt, because it'll ruin their life and your life, right? Mm-hmm. And so he's warning here, and there's multiple times in the book of Proverbs where he warns his children, don't be a cosigner for any reason. And so that's what he's talking about there. And he said, don't put it off. Do it now. Don't rest until you get out from underneath that, right? Because the potential is, if you're a cosigner, the other person doesn't pay, and it's on your credit. You've got to pay.
Right.
And if it doesn't get paid, it's not their credit. It's your credit that's going to get ruined, right?
Do you want to hear a story that is not relevant but very interesting?
Yes.
It's 20 seconds.
Yeah.
My grandfather, he's since passed away, but my grandfather was talked into co-signing. A good buddy of his came to him in desperation, said he wanted him to co-sign for a new car, convinced him. My grandfather signed it, and the next week, this guy ended up taking his own life. And he left behind a wife and children. Mm. And so my mother talks about that story and says, my grandfather made that payment every month and never spoke a word about it.
Wow.
And paid the whole thing off.
Well, yeah, if you have the margin to be able to do it, but
right.
What he's saying here is you're putting yourself at risk.
Yep.
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
But
So,
isn't that crazy, though?
Yeah.
That's a crazy story.
Mm-hmm. And then my dad used to call me lazy bones.
Did he?
A little bit as a kid, yeah. And so
Did he use that phrase?
Yeah, so well, we read this all the time, right?
Oh, I see.
So, it says, go to the ant, thou sluggard, is what it says in King James.
Yeah.
You ever read that?
Yeah.
So,
sure.
But verse 10, a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folded in the hands to rest. On a regular basis, I'll roll over, turn off my alarm, and go, I just can't get up. A little rest.
Yeah.
Right? A little sleep, a little folding of the hands to slumber. Yep.
That's so funny.
And, but he's talking here that procrastinating, not doing the work you need to do today is going to lead you to poverty tomorrow. And so there's so many smart things. He warns you about the slick people that wink and nudge you with their foot and always trying to, if there's winking and nudging and signals at the table, probably somebody's shooting a move and you don't want to be a part of that either, right? So It's just so smart, the stuff he talks about here, where he's just trying to set his children up to understand how the world works and the best way to live.
Yeah, that's great. Well, hey, that looks like our time. So what a great chapter. And we'll see you hopefully next time on The Bible Guys.